Hey, you beautiful twin flames, and welcome back to Tarot for You 444. I'm so delighted you could join me today. Whew, the energies have been a little bit crazy, and I want to do a divine masculine check-in today because I know a lot of you have been contacting me regarding some very strange behaviors that are going on in the masculine collective. So just bear with me as I shuffle, and we're going to tap into what on earth is going on with my divine masculine. That's kind of what I want to call this this video today. If you haven't got a cuppa yet, go and get one. And I'm going to have a little sip of mine. I also want to say that at the moment, self-care is really, really important. So if you're not doing that, ask yourself why not. If you're overextending yourself to people, ask yourself why you're doing that, and come back into knowing that the more you take care of yourself and your inner world, the easier everything will be. I find it interesting that the cross has just come up here. We just had Easter. Many of you felt guided to reach out to your divine masculines during Easter time, and many of you couldn't reach out during Easter time or were not guided to. So there's this kind of, do I want to call it passive aggressive? I do. I kind of want to call it passive aggressive. On one hand, you want to be sweet and kind and loving, and on the other hand, you don't want to tolerate the 3D boundary breaking of your masculines. Many of you also need to ground yourself and spend time in nature and take care of your body, and you'll be feeling guided to make changes, maybe to your diet or to your exercise regime or something like that. It's really important at this time. So without further ado, now that the decks are ready, I'm going to draw the cards for the Divine Masculine Collective right now. And believe me, just bear with me. I've got to turn my heater off. I'm gonna pass out in the heat. Whew, that's better. Alrighty, let's see what's going on here, because there is this really weird energy coming through for the collective, and like many of you are feeling trapped in your own thoughts about what's going on, because your divine masculine may not be speaking to you for some of you, and if he is, he may be acting kind of strange, and I'm going to tell you why in this reading. So we have a missed apology or a missed opportunity here for connection with your masculine. There's some kind of missed opportunity or missed embrace that could have been, or something like that. There's this weirdness of feeling. So let me get into the reading now, after we just check the bottom of my third deck here. Yeah. We've got some very manipulative energy going on here. Your divine masculine, many of you are dealing with an unawakened masculine, which means he's kind of doing this manipulation technique with you. He may be coming through as passive aggressive. He may be coming through as, I want to spend time with you, then I haven't got time with you, or I love you, but I also love this other thing, or I thought I was in love with you, but now I'm not. You know what I mean? It's this very, I'm coming and then I'm going, and I'm coming and then I'm going. And that's, of course, what a fox does. A fox is inherently good and bad in the fact that, it knows how to survive, but, it has to do some kind of skullduggery to survive. So this is what I'm really getting from the masculine right now, is a survival skill. And for many of you, you're feeling quite hurt about what your masculine has done to you. Now, if you're hearing any background noise, I apologize for that. I'm hoping that it's not going to take away from the reading. Okay, so for most of the collective, the divine masculine is holding on to the connection, but is spending time alone, spending time contemplating, spending time thinking about money, spending time thinking about their life in general on their own. And if you were engaged to your masculine, or there was some kind of promise made here, there's been some reneging or detachment from that promise. Okay, and you're not sure why. And for some of you, you've walked away from your masculine. So let me just repeat that. For some of you, your masculine has reneged on the promise that they made in the past, or for some of you, you have definitely blocked off your masculine, because we literally have the Two of Swords here, and this is the feminine blocking off her heart space to the masculine, because she feels that there's no passion, there's also no communication coming in, or if there is communication, the communication is this airy fairy kind of pie in the sky sort of stuff. It's very surface level or fantasy orientated, and it's interesting because we have this idea of a ship flying in the sky, which is kind of unheard of, you know, like we don't really see ships flying in the sky, but yet in this card we do. And the divine feminine's coming through here saying, look, you know, all of these promises that were made, or all of these you know, all of this connection that I felt in the fifth dimensional consciousness, or in my dream space, just hasn't come to fruition. And for the last 4 weeks, your divine masculine has been away, or hasn't been as, I don't know, for some of them they've been unwell, for some of them they've been taking a break, for some of them there's just been no communication, and yet there's this passion where they miss you and they long to have what they had in the past. Many divine masculines consider themselves very lucky to even have met the divine feminine in the 3D reality. And for some of you, you've helped them with a project or some kind of creation activity that they've done in the 3D reality. There's this feeling that if you are at a distance from your masculine, there's this feeling of it's untouchable. You know, it's a dream-like fantasy that I was having, you know. They wanted to try and do something in the past, but then they realized that maybe it was a little bit childish. You know, maybe I was a fool to consider this love in the physical reality. You know, maybe I can't get to her, take gender how it resonates. Maybe I can't, I don't have enough resources to do that. There's a real feeling about resources here, you know, and it's kind of like the luck of the dice has been thrown. It's like the universe really didn't give me this opportunity to come forward, and even if I did, I wouldn't know how to make it be, you know, have any fruition, is what he's trying to say. So there's a little bit of a giving up energy here, and there's also this energy of selfishness on the masculine's part, where he goes, well, you know, the universe has dished me out X, Y, and Z, or these things, and so I'm going to rest on my laurels. I'm just going to chill out for now, and I'm going to consider everything. It's this real consideration feeling, and I want to know what they're doing while they're not talking to you. If your divine masculine is talking to you and you're getting along fine, that's kind of the other, you know, collective that I channel for. But most of you would be having either a weird interaction, with your masculine where it feels a little bit false, or you would be having no contact, which is leaving you quite mentally puzzled by what's going on, because a lot of them promise things that they never came through with, if that makes sense. So let's see what the masculine is actually getting up to now. Bear with me while I shuffle the cards, and I'll see if any songs come through as I'm shuffling. Okay. There's also this tiredness that I'm feeling. I'm tapping into this tiredness for both the masculine and feminine collective right now. Okay, so I've got a song that I've channeled. A few stolen moments is all that we shared. Wow. You've got your family and they need you there. I feel this is from the feminine. Though I tried to resist being last on your list, but no other man's gonna do. So I'm saving all my love. Yes, I'm saving all my love. Saving all my love for you. And then it's, you used to tell me we'd run away together. Love gives you the right to be free. You said be patient, just wait a little longer. But that's just an old fantasy. So it's, you know, the divine feminine coming through. And of course I don't sound like Whitney Houston. I'm trying, but it's not working. You know, there's this feeling that she's just been disappointed. You know, that's just an old fantasy. And then she sings, I've got to get ready, just a few minutes more. Gonna get that old feeling when you walk through the door. Now this energy is kind of really in the past, because the masculine did a deceptive thing. There's some deception here that the masculine did. Unless you're talking and having a great wonderful time with your masculine right now, there's some deception here. He didn't show up for you. He didn't you know, he told you an untruth. He said something like, you know, I'm really passionate for you. In the past, I'm really passionate for you. This is Friends with Benefits Charlie. And you know, at the time that was his truth, and he made a promise to many of you that he would be a fool. Right? I'll be a fool for you. I really want to manifest this love. And now it's in the maybe stages. It's like maybe I'll message you soon. Perhaps I'll try a bit harder. You know what I mean? There's kind of this excuse rendering here. And then because he didn't come through, he feels like he left you out in the cold, but he also feels like he's done himself an injustice because he hasn't actually come forward to you. So right now he's building his pentacles, he's building up his money, he's trying desperately not to think about the divine feminine, because he knows he did an injustice. Isn't that interesting that that came out? An injustice to the feminine in the recent past. Maybe he didn't thank her enough. Maybe he didn't do as he said he was going to do. But there's this loss of passion here in the twin flame journey. A loss of passion. And the divine feminine was ungrounded for a time, and she's starting to realize that she can really only rely upon herself. So this is a really interesting I want to say, a really interesting nightmare, because on one hand, she really loves the masculine, but on the other hand, she will not tolerate it anymore. She's nurturing herself, and he is perhaps on social media talking to other people, for some of them. But she is realizing now that she really only can help herself. So we got these special cards that came out, that flew out before. Yeah, another Whitney Houston coming through. Where do broken hearts go? Can they find their way home? Back to the open arms of a love that's waiting there. He's quite ashamed of his past actions, the non-messaging, right? And so the feminine sings, and if somebody loves you, won't they always love you? I look in your eyes, and I know that you still care for me. She knows she has to rely on herself. The divine masculine has gone within. Okay, maybe not into the awakening abyss of within, but he's shedding light on what he's done, and he knows he's been deceptive. He knows that he hasn't come correct. He knows that he took some things from her. You know, he took some ideas, some thoughts, some memories from her, and here she is now trying to gain all of her strength back. Interesting, now I've got the two decks side by side, and as I flip the next two cards over, we have strength in the upright and strength in the reverse. You know, she lost her strength, and now she has to get it back. And the only way that the divine feminine can get this strength back is to take a break, take a pause, realize that the divine masculine is being a total selfish asshole in the 3D, which is really what a lot of you are writing to me about. And the cards are really showing this. You know, he's being greedy for everything else. You know, my family is important, my job is important, my money is important, my addiction's important, everything else is important, and so it makes the divine feminine have to wait for longer. And this feeling of depression or sadness or confusion or confliction that the divine feminine goes through, she says, you know what, I don't want to feel like this anymore. And many of you have walked away because you're very confused. You know, it's a confusing energy that's been put upon you. Because on one hand, he said X, Y, Z to you, and then he did, you know, he might have said, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, and then did A, B, C. And there's this very narcissistic attitude coming through. I'm not saying that your divine masculine is necessarily a narcissist, but there are some narcissistic traits coming through where perhaps he is, you know, dealing or playing around with other people. Perhaps he is having sex with other people. I feel like he's also in a toxic energy of arguing with other people. I also feel like he's extremely immature, or in the recent past he was extremely immature, and and very prideful. This actually came in the reverse. Very prideful. And it's weird because even though he knows that he's done wrong by you, even though he understands that there's been this whole pie in the sky idea and this world full of promises that he really can't live up to, these expectations that maybe both of you had for the relationship going forward, he realizes that if he wants to come back to you, there's going to be some work here. You know, not everything is working for him right now. If it was, these would be in the upright. It's not working for him right now. And the thing that he's lost, the love that he's lost, is the divine feminine. And the divine feminine has chosen to close off her heart to the masculine in the recent past because she knows the truth. She knows the truth of his confusing passive aggressive or coming and going attitude, and she knows that he needs to reflect. He needs to reflect on his own confusing behaviors. And many of them are dealing with a karmic as well. Isn't this interesting? Many of them dealing with a karmic woman. Could be their mother, could be a sister, a cousin, a friend, someone toxic in their life. And I feel that this energy is blocking the connection. So if you feel like your divine masculine's connection with you is being blocked by a third party, you can come and talk to me about getting a negative energy removal done, which will help your situation. But this feeling of the divine feminine is quite pissed off, and she's kind of got every right to be in the 3D. You know, many of you might say, well, you know, we should be loving and sending light and doing all this stuff, but without boundaries, if you don't ascertain your own boundaries within yourself, then your divine masculine is going to continue to not give you the love and continue to walk all over you. And for many of you, you had an argument with your divine masculine, or he turned his back on you, and you really have no idea why. So right now, what I want to say to you is self-care is really, really important. There's a lot of energy going around in the world right now. You may be feeling tired, you may be feeling stressed, you may be feeling unwell, you may be feeling confused. If you feel like you'd like to do a one-on-one session with me, I'm now offering 1.5 hour appointments where you can talk to me one-on-one, and I will put my glasses on and look at everything with a magnifying glass for your particular situation, because the energy that's coming through right now is an energy of confusion. It's an energy of the divine masculine walking away, the divine feminine's also walking away. I feel like both of them have had enough of trying, and it may not necessarily be that the connection is, you know, at fault, but it may be because there are so many other blocks to the connection. I did notice that from this deck here, the wedding ring or the engagement ring fell onto the ground. I think it's an engagement ring. You know, some of you may have a broken engagement, or you're not engaging very much with your masculine right now. Take it how it resonates for you. And of course, flip the genders how it resonates for you as well. Let's see what's hidden now. I want to get into the hidden, the hiddenness. That's my new word for the day. What don't you know about your masculine? Here we go. Okay, so many of them realize that this connection is like no other. They may not understand the term twin flame, but they may realize that this is a love like no other. And interestingly here, they have this belief that you've lost your wisdom. You've lost your wisdom in the connection, and they're perceiving you right now as just being someone who needs to go home, or needs to stay at home, or needs to consider their home, or what do I want to say here? It's this King of Cups energy. It's this loving energy where they feel like you're doing things at home, but they also feel really as though they're not part of that. You know, you're being loving and nurturing to your own family or your own friends or your own work colleagues or whoever that is, but I'm not involved in that. And we have him feeling very alone. And like I said before, some of them are venturing out and doing, you know, some sexy kind of stuff. We have the Ace of Cups here, And this is, you know, someone showing their love, and they could be showing their love in a different direction, because if you notice, he's looking away. He's looking away from the feminine. He's kind of rolling the dice. This is a secret that many of you don't know about, and it will resonate for about 42% of you listening today. This is the secret that you don't know about. Many of your masculines, I feel, are looking for connections outside of your connection. Yes. Let's see what else. We'll just get one more lot, and I think we'll leave it there for the day. Very interesting energy. It's this, yeah, see, we have, this is the other counterpart to the one that I just pulled. So we have this sexual energy going on, but you know, if that's not happening in your connection with your divine masculine, it's happening outside of your connection. So he's, you know, I don't feel that he is enjoying the connection, because this couple isn't together, but I feel like it might just be a coping mechanism that, you know, right now, while the divine feminine's not in my life, I can still have some fun. I can still go elsewhere. I can still get my needs met. For many of them, they may be using pornography or, you know, online whatever, right? Take it how it resonates for you. I'm also getting the word given to me by Spirit as, you know, prostitution. Some of them are doing that. And I've just got one last message coming through, so bear with me. Yeah. So he's also thinking, you know, this is a pie in the sky idea with my feminine. It probably could never work. There's too much gossip going on, or there's too much bad blood between us. You know, where I once thought this was a heavenly connection in the past, I thought it was good luck. I've realized now that maybe we don't belong together. Maybe we're not a pair. In the recent past, he thought you were a pair, and now he's rethinking his ideas. It's a very confusing energy. It's a very logical energy. There is not much love going on here. He feels as though you're giving your love to other people and to other places. And for those of them who are entertaining themselves, you know, with prostitutes or, you know, online, or having sex with multiple people, or whatever they're doing that just for the release of that. They're not doing that, you know, like a love affair. They're just doing it to get their rocks off. Wisdom is here. Have the wisdom to be strong moving forward, and realize that if your divine masculine isn't awakened or isn't fully awakened, which is the case with most of the collective right now, many of them have gone back into old habits. They need to reread the book. You know what I mean? You could say that that's the Quran or the Bible or the, you know, the book of wisdom or whatever book resonates with you, but they need to go back and study and get that wisdom that they need, because, you know, that addiction or that fetish or that idea that they were having that is keeping them moving forward and perpetuating their state right now is not going to be good for them in the long term. And he just wants to say something. Yeah, I've been in a dark place since we haven't spoken. I feel like you've put the brakes on, divine feminine. I feel like you put the brakes on, and, you know, I feel like we're just in an unlucky cycle right now, and some of them are moving forward without you. You know, they're trying to look for their lucky time somewhere else. They they really are affected by the world energy right now. And if you live at a distance, the message for you, like as in a real big distance, the message for you that there's going to be some abundant message coming through. So if your divine masculine lives at a far place away from you, like overseas or something like that, there's going to be some sort of message coming to you about them, which is an abundant message. And also, perhaps there'll be something religious here or holy about that message. Okay, so you might come to learn something about your masculine that you didn't know before. There is this abundance here, though. It's not going to be bad, it's going to be good. And for those of you who live close by to your masculines, there's this confusing energy going on. There's a definite confusion going on, and there you are in the middle of all of that divine feminine, feeling kind of weird, going, WTF is going on right now. It feels like my masculine is a completely different person. Many of you have got a masculine or yourself that have had this thing, you know what I mean? If you want to have that removed, please contact me. My details are down below in the description box. So this isn't really the best reading in the world, but it's very necessary, and so I want to sing Joyful Joyful before we go, so we can raise the vibration a little bit and come back to knowing that love is all there is. And of course, we're seeing the opposite of love so that we can recognize how much we need to come back into that loving space. Self-nurture, self-care, really focusing on what's important within your own life in a joyful way. Maybe even starting a mission if you feel guided to do that. Now is the time. Alrighty, so let's do it. Come back. Come with me to a land of pure imagination. No, it's alright, I'm joking. Okay. Joyful, joyful Lord, we adore you. God of glory, God of light. Hearts unfold like flowers before him. By the way, what have you done for him lately? Sing with me. Ooh, yeah. What have you done for him lately? I think I need a nap. Ooh, yeah. Ready? Joyful, joyful Lord, we adore you. God of glory, God of light. Hearts unfold like flowers before him. Do, 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 do. There's the gang. Come and join the chorus, the mighty, mighty chorus. Do, 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 do. I'll learn the words one day. Joyful, joyful Lord, we adore you. God of glory, God of light. Hearts unfold like flowers before him. Do, 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 do. That's what you do. You just sing do, do, do if you've forgotten the words. Okay, I'll be listening into the collective more often. I know it's been a couple of weeks since I posted, so please forgive me. I had a few things filling up my plate. My plate got very big. Remember, I'm doing counseling sessions 1.5 hours. You can talk on the phone with me and we can deep dive, really deep into your situation. Of course, I've got all my courses and all of my other wonderful things down in the description box below. If you need to contact me, feel free to do so. I would love to hear from you. Have a beautiful day, night, afternoon, evening or morning, wherever you are in the world. I love you all so much, and I'll see you real soon. Bye everyone. Bye.